Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of move fast through some of these portions of this fork drawing, and then when we get to the meat of what we need to show you some new stuff, we'll slow down a little bit. But first, we want to go in and draw this shape right here, and make some extrusions, some cuts, and then we'll do some holes. So first thing we'll do is draw the shape. Now that particular shape looks something like this, and we'll just go ahead and draw that. So I'm going to draw a circle, and then we'll go in and draw some lines, and we'll trim out that piece there. And according to the drawing, we need to have let's see, looks like that needs to be according to this sketch here, it needs to be a 1/2 inch. So we'll go ahead and put in some dimensions on the radius. Then we'll go in and put in somewhere we should have a height. It's like we're going to be 1 inch from the center here up to the top. And let's see, what else do we need here? I thought I got a tangent, but maybe I didn't. Let's check and make sure. It doesn't hurt to check and make sure. Okay, so that tangent is okay. Let's look at the I don't see a vertical here, so we might want to go ahead and put a vertical in there. Let's hide the constraints and let's go see if we can get a vertical. I don't see why why we didn't get that in the first place, but that takes care of that. It's full of constraints, and now we'll rotate that around, and then it's just a matter of extruding that. And the extrusion on that is a thickness of what? Doesn't show, but it does say that we need to go from the center of that thing 0.1875 plus 0.2188. So we can work with that. So let's do an extrude, and the distance we need is let's go in parentheses 2 times 0.1875 plus 2 times 0.21875, and I forgot to flip the direction on that, so I will go back and edit the feature, flip the direction, and that's done. Well, let's see. I can go ahead and cut the piece out of that. So I'm going to rotate that around. I'm going to cut out this piece right here, I believe is what probably was the next thing we did. So we'll look at that extrusion. It really doesn't matter which side you come from on that. Okay, so now if we go based on what the drawing is showing there, we'll do it a little bit differently than what I've done it here. First thing, of course, we have to do is create a sketch, and we'll pick this face right here. Then I'm going to draw a construction line. So I'm going to come over here to the right hand side, and I'll change to construction line, put in a line, and I'll snap to the midpoint there, come straight down. You can go as far as you want or as short as you want, doesn't matter. I'll turn off the construction line, and I'm going to draw a rectangle this time. Okay, now at this point it might be better to come up here and hit the left view so I can look straight in on it. And I'll put in some dimensions from this point to here. And we said that need to be 0.1875. And then actually 0.1875 again. So from here over to here, 0.1875. And then finally we'll, well, not finally, but I am going to create a constraint tangent between this line here and this edge here. Now I'm not getting that. So what I will do is I will project geometry up here on the top, and I'll project a line right there. Now I got that line, but I really need to change that to a construction line. Now I can do my, actually I probably want collinear at this point, so that if one goes, the other one goes with it. Now then I do have one more dimension to put in that I forgot to get there, and that was a dimension from let's see, I'm not seeing it, but it's the dimension from the center here up to this piece. If we look over here on the drawing, it's 0.625. And we're done there. Okay, and that looks like that's fully constrained. It says it needs one more dimension, but part of that is, I think, the fact that this line needs to be changed to construction line. And then for some reason we've got some more lines up here that look like they might need to be changed. It's still saying we need one, but we're squared away there. There must be a point somewhere. That's got it for me. I don't see anything else there. So I'm going to go ahead and create feature, extrude. We want this. We want to flip that, which we wouldn't have had to flip it if we just hit cut. And we'll say through all. Okay, and that's looking like that. Of course, the next thing I probably ought to do is hit save. Okay, so we're all squared away on that. Then I'll punch the hole in there, or do I? You know, I may wait to do that. I might choose to do that later on. So now let's see. Okay, for the next step now, what you might choose to do, I didn't do it on this one. We can look at it and see here, but and notice I did put the hole in there, but I'm going to hold off on that. But notice I've got this extrusion here. Well, what a person might try to do on that is to do a rectangular copy, and you can pick both of these objects and go with the direction, and I want to pick this line right here, and then I might just want to make this 3 inches. Okay, now they look exactly the same, however this one's going to be a little bit different, isn't it? It's going to be a little taller. So if we look at that extrusion, look at the sketch, there's the sketch for that. So now that I've got that, I'm just going to go in there and if I can, let's see, that might be a little bit of a problem. Let's look at the features of that. That's probably not going to work. The only thing I could do would be split that, but if I edit the features on that, see, that takes me back to there. So let's scrap that idea for now, and we'll go back in then and create this sketch. So I have to go back to the sketch, pick the face that I want to sketch on, and I'll go look at the front of that. Draw my circle again. I'll move straight over. Done with that. Let's draw some lines. And I'll trim that out again. So now we'll go back and put in some dimensions. Now I'll go from this center line to that center line 3 inches. I want this to be a 1/2 inch again. And I want the height of this to be from the center here up to there, 1.75. And it says I still need 2 dimensions. I tend to disagree with that. Again, I think I've got some stuff going on over here from my other sketch that I just don't necessarily need. So I'm going to create feature, extrude. I'll flip that direction. Notice it still remembers that calculation I did before. Okay, and now let's see, we're done with that, so we can again make sure and hit save. Okay, and we'll do another sketch over here on this face. And I'm going to show you something on this one that will make a difference when we do this extrusion, but we're going to cut that rectangle out again, and then I better go back and put in that construction line from the center down, except for I'm not sure I got the center there the way it looks. Let's delete that line. It just didn't seem like it. I thought I snapped to it, but here's the problem. See, I gotta center on this, so be careful there. So now we're good. And see, let's remember to turn off that construction line. Create a dimension from the center line there, the construction line to that, 0.1875. Same thing on this side. We'll go from the center line here up to there is 1.75, I believe. Uh-oh, that went too far, sorry. Let's undo that last one. That number actually is, I believe, 1.75. I don't know what I've got going on here. That's supposed to be I see. I got a dimension of 2.0625, but that's coming from the bottom. So we'll double click that number. So that's 2.0625 minus 0.5. That's a little better. And then we need to create a constraint of, and we did this before, and it's probably not going to work for us again, but if we go coincident this line to there, you see we can't. Now we could go to there. So I'm going to have to create a, go to construction, project geometry, boom, I got that. Although I don't know if I got it. Project geometry. Should have gotten it that time if nothing else. It sure doesn't look like it. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's project geometry with it just as a regular line. There, we got it. I think I was just having trouble with the mouse. Now we're good. We'll go collinear. This line and that line. Now, mind you, that wouldn't have had to have been like that, but it just makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so we're good there. Now, here's the one thing I wanted to show you on this. If we go in there and do create feature extrude, and we pick that profile, missed the profile. Okay, if we pick that, now if we go in there and say through all, be careful. Oh, I forgot to cut. So I'll edit feature, cut. You see what it does? It cuts the whole thing, because through all means it has to go through the whole thing. So I'm going to right click on that and edit that feature again, and instead of all I'm going to say to, and then I'm going to pick this face back here, and that limits that. So that's probably the best way to take care of that. Well, now let's put some holes in there. And I waited to put those holes in there because what I might do is go in there and go hole, and I want to go concentric, and I want to pick this plane, and I want to pick this edge here, and I want that to be 3281. So I'm going to go distance. We will go through all. So I go 3281, and we'll just hit apply this time. Then I'm going to do the same thing again, concentric. I want to pick this plane, and I want to pick any of those radii or even that face and hit OK. Oh, I should have. Well, that's good. I'll go ahead then and do a rectangular pattern. I want to get the second hole, the direction, I want to go here. That's going to have to be flipped. And my distance is 1.0625. Okay. So that I've got my holes there then, and I'll hit save. And that'll be the end of this video.